He's always trying to find a way to live for free. Like, I'm like, dude, that's not reality. Hey, you just got to pony up, man.
You got to put in some hours. You got to put in some work.
Dude, you got to pay to fucking live somewhere. I don't know what to tell you.
Every entrepreneur and so-called entrepreneur out here is talking about like how you can't have any liabilities. You can only have assets, as if like they don't fucking pay a rent or mortgage.
Exactly. Like I don't have fucking normal bills to pay.
Like, yeah, dude.
Like, dude, that's not reality.
Are you getting free Wi-Fi? How the fuck are you getting free Wi-Fi? Or
I was like, as a matter of fact, I do have assets, dude. My whole fucking studio cost a shit ton of money, dude, but it's all fucking paid for. I'm not paying a fucking dime on it.
Yeah, but I mean,
those are assets, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right.
Like my car is fucking paid off. I was like, how do I not have assets? You're fucking out of your mind. Like, I don't have a fucking car payment. Yeah, I have loans I got to pay off, but who the fuck doesn't? I don't have a fucking student loan anymore.
Neither do I. It's fantastic being debt free.
I mean, I'm not debt free, but I consolidated everything.
I mean, I wouldn't say, bro. I mean, all these entrepreneurs, man. What is it? Robert Kiyosaki, everybody's talking about. And now, like, we have to have briefings before this. Like, we don't do briefings, dude. We kick this shit right off the fucking top, man. Like, oh,
yeah, right off the cuff.
We have to have a fucking briefing about a briefing about a briefing.
He's like, well, I was like, dude. He's like, dude, oh, to market this thing, man, it's just gonna take a lot of fucking time and energy. And I was like, no, it's not.
What the fuck is he talking? Like, oh, we have to have what? Get a brief outline and watch the audience grow. Like, my audience is fucking growing. What the am I muted?
No.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
But watch my audience grow. Like, we have to have an outline of the show to watch my audience grow. I have a fucking outline of the show. Like,
dude, it's a fucking roundtable. It's a bunch of guys fucking talking shit. What else do you want it to be? I was like, if you want it to be all about the stocks, you have your own fucking podcast for that. You have a financial podcast to talk about that all day. Doesn't he?
Dude, he had a podcast like a year ago. He's had 12 episodes in the span of 2 years. He's had 12 episodes.
And what happened with that? It came to a screeching halt, like a fucking traffic accident, like a bad car wreck. It's all right.
Whatever, man.
It's not my podcast.
It's not. This is my podcast, and I'm doing well. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's stop and rebrand. I'm like, why? I got a winning fucking formula. So I don't know why it's like Insanity is doing the same thing, except for if it's fucking winning. Like, what the fuck?
He always compares that shit to Joe Rogan.
Like, Joe Rogan's been doing the same thing.
You can't.
But Joe Rogan's been doing the same thing. He sits down and he talks to people about what they do. Yeah,
and he gets interesting people on there, and I mean,
no one's more interesting than TECHFALL, but Mickey fucking comes on and brings the goddamn thing to a complete halt.
But I like talking about a wide range of events, sports that's going on and shit like that. You know, you got to make it entertaining, man. Like if you talk about money all the time, that shit. I mean, yeah, that's great, but people don't want to hear that shit. Like,
I'm growing the brand. How? Like I'll ask some questions and he's like, I'm growing the brand. How? Well, you know, I'm making connections. What connections? You know, like people out there in the market. What market? It's like fucking talking to a brick wall, man. Fuck it,
yeah,
dude. Hey, so what did you do? What's the last couple of weeks been like for you?
it's been pretty laid back for the most part. I took off. I took off a couple tours. Went down to Ocean City. Relaxed, kind of recharged my batteries. You know, because the last couple months have been hectic. 'Cause I've just been, you know, working and then working on music. So I had to kind of just take a break, man. Take a mental fucking break from everything. You know, I didn't want to hear. I didn't even turn on. There wasn't even cable out there, so that was good. Didn't have to turn on the TV and hear about all the bullshit going on in the world. Just kind of took a break from all that. Just relax with my family. My dad turned 70, so that was cool. Um, Got to celebrate with him and just went out to the beach and just kicked it, man. It was
What's
just
up?
it was just relaxing. You know, that's the first time I've been to Ocean City for a week long in a long time. Or not actually taking a week off
It,
for a
ha-
long time.
it hasn't been safe to go out there.
And yeah, so
It,
that
ha- it
was
has. Well, I remember you sent me a text. I think you sent me a picture too. If it wasn't you, I think it was somebody else that just happened to be down there. Maybe I saw it on Facebook. I think it was you that sent me a text. Fucking the beach was packed with nobody wearing a fucking mask.
yeah, that was in Rehoboth.
That was Rehoboth
So
though.
I like walked down the beach and then I walked out. I was like, fuck this. And yeah, we went to a bunch of spots while I was out there. So I mean, Rehoboth was like super packed. Ocean City wasn't that bad. It wasn't crazy like the summers are supposed to be. Well, I mean, it was just good to get away from DC. Now all this stuff is going on with these marches and protests. So people are just getting fucking killed on a regular basis. You know, like in DC, it's happening on a regular. Not that it was happening, not that it wasn't happening before, but it's just every tour they're running something, somebody getting shot or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some dude got his neck slit from ear to ear last tour.
What was that? A White Claw? Are you drinking a fucking White Claw?
No, I'm drinking a brown claw. It's new, man.
Are you drinking a fucking White Claw on my show? A seltzer beer? Are you drinking a seltzer beer on my?
It's not going to be on. It's not going to be on the show though, because this isn't going to be on the show. Because when Don comes in, we're going to
This
start
is the
recording.
show. I've been recording since you fucking came on.
I didn't know you were recording.
I'm always recording.
You got to give me a heads up on that.
You have always had a heads up because every time you've seen the fucking playback of the episode, you're like, bro, you were recording the whole time. I'm like, I'm recording the whole time. So why are you surprised that I'm fucking recording
I don't know,
the whole
man.
time?
Yeah, we can start whenever, dude. You can edit all that shit out.
Oh, okay, start.
Yeah. So what's up, man? Thank you for having me on fucking Zombie SquadCAST.
Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to have you on, man.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Yeah, so somebody got their neck slit from ear to ear. You're on the beach, dude. We had the whole thing, dude.
It's just nuts.
No, we're continuing. I already have all that, dude. We already started. So, fuck, man. Well, yeah, dude. We had what was it? The Commitment March on Washington. The Commitment March. It was the 53rd anniversary. I think it was the 53rd anniversary of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, of course, National Guard was on standby in case non-peaceful protesters, you know, want to get involved. But
So it was pretty peaceful.
it was peaceful,
That's
quiet.
good.
It was beautiful. I mean, it wasn't quiet. I mean, they were out there, you know,
That's
being
good.
heard, and it was fantastic. But yeah, no need for an emergency call up of anybody.
No need to dispatch the expendables.
The
Involved.
the dispendables,
No, the expendables.
the expendables,
Yeah.
the disposables.
Yeah.
You
didn't have to get Sylvester Stallone.
No, man. Now we got a couple of Stathams in there, maybe a couple of Terry Crews, but we ain't got no Stallones in there, man.
No Jet Lis.
I think actually one, yeah. Yeah, man. I think one. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean it was peaceful out there, so that was you know, it was a pleasant surprise, man. I'm happy that I mean, it's unfortunate what's going on, you know, in the country. There's, you know, still some incidents popping up, you know, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Before that, I mean, there wasn't anything major that hit the news since Portland.
Yeah.
Portland.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Seattle, Portland.
Yeah. I mean, Portland and Seattle followed Minneapolis.
Yeah, but I got kicked back to Minneapolis. They started destroying that place again.
Then it got kicked back to Minneapolis,
like even further. So, I mean, that place is going to be like the next Detroit.
Yeah, well,
it's going to take light years to fix that joint.
No, man. I mean, listen, man. I'm a hopeful, positive. You know,
I mean, even after Hurricane Katrina, it's still to this day. It's still not the same. You know, they're still recovering. And that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That Katrina just happened. I mean, Katrina happened. They just had the anniversary of Katrina, actually.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a major catastrophe, and now they're getting hit again with this hurricane. You know, the Gulf is just getting crushed.
Dude, I mean, what a fucking year, dude. What a fucking year, man.
It's been, you know, first the pandemic, and then the whole George Floyd thing, then the riots, and now this incident happened.
And now it's
hurricane.
Category 5 fucking hurricanes.
And now it's in the middle of an election year. Like, it's just bananas. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah,
hopefully it doesn't mess people's mentality up too bad.
It's just exhausting, man. It's exhausting. And it's having, I mean, you know, with as many ups as we've had, you know, there's a lot of, you know, little micro elements, little microcosms here, man, that are, you know, kind of adding some unnecessary stressors to the family. You know, and I mean, the wife is stressed about a number of things. I'm stressed, obviously, because I'm getting called up at last minute, you know, for this, that, and the other thing. And it's only a day or 2 or 3 here, and it's not the end of the world. And I knew what I signed up for, but it's just this whole pandemic, man. You get coughed on and you're fucking dunzos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be anyway. You could be. So. I mean, it's just, bro. I mean, I don't know what to say.
And they had that other issue with that guy, Kyle Rittenhouse. That whole incident that happened that night.
I'm not familiar.
The guy that was carrying a AR-15.
Oh, the fucking kid. The fucking.
Yeah. He was 17 years old. And
this fucking schmuck.
And killed 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops were.
That was.
I don't know if they saw him. I don't know. I wasn't there, but he had the AR-15 in sight of the police, and the police passed by him. Didn't take any action. Didn't take any affirmative action. So that kind of made an uproar with him versus the police. I don't know. It's a whole mess. It's out of my pay grade. But I mean, I know from being a first responder, like how chaotic a scene can be. And I think, in my opinion, and I'm just spitting off the cuff, is that they were looking for the victims. It was chaotic. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of these cops are young, you know, they don't have the experience in making the right decision. And I think that's a big problem, is they're too young on the force and don't have enough experience. But, you know, they should have took it in as an active shooter situation. And that's how we respond to calls, is we have an active shooter protocol that we follow. So I think that they should have activated the active shooter protocol.
Yeah.
And call for extra backup. Say, hey, we have an active shooter. Let's stage at this location. And that's what should have been done. But it didn't. So they got him like a couple days later. I don't know. But they're saying it's self-defense, so who knows? It's all on tape.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, listen, man. Clearly, this kid was going out looking for somebody to shoot.
Yeah, if he's carrying around an AR-15.
That's little dick energy, man. Dude, you know how many fucking, whack-ass Joes I know that never joined the military, never joined the police force, never joined the fire department, never did jack shit, but they got like 6-7 guns in their fucking house. And they're like, oh, I got this. Oh, and they're trying to tell me how to shoot a fucking gun. I'm like, dude, I don't need your help. I don't need your fucking help, Holmes. I get paid to fucking shoot these things. I don't have to buy them, and I don't have to fucking, spend my kids' formula money and spend my kids' college fund on toys. I don't need little toys like an AR-15 and a fucking, automatic shotgun, 30 clip automatic shotgun, 12 gauge bullshit. I don't need that. And they're overcompensating for something that they wish they did and they didn't have the fucking balls to do. They're overcompensating for having a little dick, no woman in their life, can't keep a job, probably shooting blanks, got bullied. They were a little pipsqueak punk bitch in high school or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so, let's just delve into these fucking kids. These fucking kids with their 16, 18 fucking different guns hanging up all over the house. I
mean, just like that whole, remember that Columbine incident that happened in Colorado years ago where he walked into school and just started unloading on people?
Oh, that's bad parenting.
Like, what the hell? Or that guy that was in Charleston, South Carolina at the church and was standing at the back. And started killing people. It was like 9 people. Remember, we visited that church that year?
Yeah. We went to that. Yeah, we went to that
right up the street from that bar that we were hanging out at.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that church is like 1 block over.
Well, that's clearly a psychopath that wanted to, racist, evil psychopath that wanted to take out a bunch of people he was targeting. But I think with this kid, he was clearly walking down the street just looking to get into some shit. But it all starts with this. I mean, this is a long discussion, man. This is like a whole long psychotherapy discussion. But he's got, chances are he's got, fucked up upbringing, fucked up childhood, bad parenting himself. This is half of it's probably a whole Columbine situation mixed in with this kid's a gun nut. He wants to be Call of Duty. He wants to be Black Ops, but he probably didn't make it past MEPS. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't make. I'm telling you, he probably didn't make it past MEPS over there at fucking wherever. This was this situation was Kenosha, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
So, this fucking clown, is buying guns. Like it's stupid. And he was walking around. I think he had a pistol on his hip and an AR-15 in his hand, and a fucking. It's just a clown, and on the flip side of that, well, I've dealt with so many of these clowns, man. Just buying ARs and buying Glocks and SIGs and shotguns and fucking. Oh, I'm gonna go out in the field. I go out in the field every Saturday and pop off some rounds and like you're tinkering with cans, dude. Like get a job, like join the military, become a cop, get proper training, be psychologically screened at least, and get the fucking help you clearly need. And if red flags come up, man, like that shit needs to be dealt with. But it's all little dick energy, man.
Yeah.
It's a clown circus, man. It's a clown circus. It's a bunch of jokers that are like, oh, I'm good at Call of Duty. And it's like, so am I, but anybody can be good at a fucking video game. You get out there in the real in the real fucking shits. He fucked up, man. The kid's fucking life is over because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's crazy out there in the world. Too many nutbags.
Right. Too many nutbags, man. You've been back to Casino Live in Maryland? Maryland no. Casino Live?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No. Kind of laying low for a while.
That's like the best fucking. That's one of the best fucking stories we've ever had, man.
No, I need to get back to work though, for real. I mean, working on music wise, of course.
So what's going on music wise? Churning this shit out.
Yeah, I did that one house track. I know you listened to it.
Yep.
So I completed that, and I got this other track I've been working on. So
when's the next?
That's pretty much the only thing I got working on right now.
When's the next TECHFALL Live? TECHFALL Live 3.
We'll probably do it in September. So I'm gonna pump out a couple more tracks and get that rolling.
Yeah, I mean, dude, what's kicking my ass with your shows, man, is that you're playing other people's stuff and YouTube's blocking it. And
well, this is all gonna be my own stuff now because
I hope so.
I mean, it's all gonna be on machine and then the turntable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's what's gonna be. So, I plan to do some live shows coming up.
In front of people?
Yeah.
Where?
In Fredericksburg. They got they got a show coming up September 5th.
You're gonna wear a mask?
I'll be out of town though for that one.
Oh, thank God.
I hooked up with this other producer. We're supposed to work on some music. He produces dubstep, and like we've been chatting back and forth. It's like, yeah, we need to link up, and because he lives in Fredericksburg, so I was trying to link up with some other people out here, and I couldn't really find anybody. And then like he was doing that showcase, so I contacted him on Instagram, and like he didn't know who I was, and I didn't really know who he was, and like I sent him over some of my music, sent him over our website, and he was like, "Wow, man, you're pretty legit." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been working on stuff for a long time, you know." And like he was interested in working on some music, so maybe we'll do a show together or something live at one of his showcase. He performs up the street from here, from downtown. A couple other local artists, like they'll probably play some dubstep, some bass head joints. I don't know. We'll see.
Some what?
Like some headbanger joints.
Some what?
Some bass music, whatever.
Some bass head joints.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like the new thing, like that bass head music, I guess it's called. It's like another form of EDM.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like what's hot right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'd like to see what he brings to the table. Like, come over here, we'll jam out. If it works, we'll work on a track and lay something down. Like I wish I could go out to. I want to plan a trip out to Indianapolis in the near future. I got an artist that I've known for years. He's a producer and turntablist, like, but he's sick with it. Like I would like to fly out there and work on music for like 4 days and lay down something dope. Maybe do a live show with him. So I think that would be pretty cool. Like we FaceTimed a couple times recently, and I told him, like, he's been following Zombie Squad. He's like, man, I love what you guys are doing.
We have a follower.
Yeah, one follower, man.
Fuck yeah. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? I have to thank him. What's his name? What is his name? I gotta thank this guy. Like, hey, bro,
oh, man, I'll send him a message, man. Like, hey, hey, Zombie Squad appreciates your support, man. 100%.
We really do. We really fucking do, man. Because we have none.
His name is Brian Alexander. He loves what we're doing on Zombie Squad.
I have members of Zombie Squad that don't even know what the fuck we do on Zombie Squad. Like butting heads with me, like, but what's the agenda? I'm like, we've been doing this for like,
dude, what are we doing here?
We've been doing this the entire quarantine. What is confusing now? What are you confused about? He's like, what's your agenda? And I'm like, here's my agenda. He goes, no, but what? Whatever, man. You can please some of the people some of the time. You can please some of the people all the time. You can please all the people some of the time, but you cannot please all the people all the time. Always remember that.
Hey, they're starting to do live shows again, so that's cool.
Yeah. And they're getting COVID from it.
Probably.
People are getting COVID. Bruh. It was just recently in the news. 66 people got COVID. 1 died. It was all traced back to a wedding reception that only 22 of those people went to. Maybe 25. 20-something. I forget the exact number, but 20-something of the 66 were at this wedding reception. And then it spread, and a total of 66 people got COVID, which was traced back to this wedding reception. Okay. 1 person died from it. A wedding reception. You're going to perform at a fucking live EDM show or a live club pumping out bass head joints. You better wear a mask.
I wear an N95 with a face shield.
You know who?
And full PPE.
Hey, guess who's not getting COVID and doing live shows? Daft Punk, man. They already have the fucking get up, dude. They're all set.
And Dead Mouse isn't getting COVID either with that giant helmet.
No COVID on me, bro.
Yeah, he probably has to decon that thing. He probably pays somebody to decon.
Yeah. Well, listen. I've said it. I think this is going to be number 57 I think this is going to be episode 57 for Zombie SquadCast. I think I've said it every single episode. I've said it 57 times on Zombie SquadCast. Until there's a vaccine, if I absolutely have to go out in public, I'm wearing a mask. Otherwise, it's all virtual. It's all online. Staying home, teleworking.
Hey, as long as you're getting work, man.
I mean, I'm blessed. So all I can say is that I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I put in the work early, and it's kind of paying off now. I don't know, man. All of the above. But listen, I mean, I'm getting corporate and industrial virtual conferences. I'm doing the podcast and working on other passion projects and other side projects. I'm a certified COVID compliance officer now for film and TV sets per statutes of Los Angeles, LA County Motion Picture Association and the New York State Motion Picture and Television, whatever the fuck. It's all like certified COVID compliance officer. So there's another gig I can get, but that has to be on set.
But you have to go to Los Angeles to do that?
No. It's US. Any set now, of course, if it was like a shoot in Maryland has its own particular protocols, COVID protocols that I would have to then implement on top of this basic, COVID compliance officer whole thing that I'm doing. But there's like, LA, there's a bunch of stuff that LA County put together, Hollywood. There's a whole bunch of stuff that New York State put together, for productions. And so that's the basic course. That's the basis of the COVID compliance officer certification. But what you also then have to do is say, okay, where's the production? Fucking, Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right. I got to go into Albuquerque, New Mexico's COVID protocols and stack that on top of everything else I know. So each city, each county, each state has its own additional protocols. Fucking Larry Hogan, governor of Maryland governor, is saying schools should be reopening, in-person learning.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And yeah, no shit. And Montgomery County is like, fuck no. Fuck to the fuck no. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he has to go through a lot more to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he can say it all he wants.
He come up with a fucking vaccine. The fuck are you talking about? There is no fucking way around it except for a vaccine.
Well, I mean, that's going to take a long time. I mean, they can try to fast track it, which I've been reading up on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're trying to do, is fast track it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still going to take 12 to 18 months.
From now or from April?
I don't know exactly when the set date is, but it's going to take a while. Just put it that way.
You're saying 12 to 18 months starting when?
From when they start the process. I'm not exactly sure when they've started the process, but that's that's roughly how long it would take. 12 to 18 months.
So we're looking at somewhere between April 2021 to October 2021.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I'm looking at, and I've mentioned this a shitload of times on the show before, bro. It's like, I always multiply things at least by 1.5, if not 2. So you're saying 1 year to 18 months, dude. I'm looking at 2 years at least. 2 years, man. So that's gonna be April 2022.
Yeah,
April 2022. Because I'm one of those guys, hope for the best, plan for the worst. And I'm a worst case scenario type of fucking plan for the worst kind of guy. You know what I mean? Bruh, it's like at the worst, man, you got to double it. You got to double it. And you're saying worst case scenario is 18 months. So I'm thinking 36 months. That's 3 fucking years. So really, April 2023. So if I was to double your worst case scenario, now your worst case scenario is 18 months. If I'm going to double at the worst, I'm going to double your worst. That's 3 fucking years. Bad news bears, man.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's going to take a long time. Just got to live with it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
just got to adapt,
improvise, and overcome.
Yeah, to this new lifestyle.
So you ready for us? You ready for the 3rd seasons of Rogues and Sinister?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So what's going to be different about this episode? I mean, this season coming up, season 3
that we're going to shoot.
Yeah,
probably nothing.
I mean, what ideas have you decided you're going to do differently? I know this season was different because we added the dramatic scenes. Yeah, dramatic reenactment.
So,
which was completely different.
Right.
And it was super cool. I loved being a part of that. Being part of some of the dramatic reenactment scenes that we shot.
Yeah. Overdrive.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. You and Mickey were just about half my reenactors. I think I even did.
I mean, we could do something similar to that and doing like an action scene. You know?
Oh, I know.
Like a quick action scene. It could be a dramatic reenactment, but add some action to it.
I agree. But you know, I
don't know. It's whatever we want to. It's how creative we want to be with it. You know, it was the whole thing.
Agreed. You know, and eventually we got to get Mickey Dix over to the studio, and AKA Damon Viteri.
He has different accents.
and third season, Damon Viteri might have a New York accent.
Dude, you just got to tune in. You never know.
Dude, the guy might be from Brooklyn one day, or he might be from the Bronx, like different boroughs. Then he might be from like Louisiana, like one day, or Oklahoma City, or Colorado, or the Hamptons.
Welcome to the show, Mickey.
Or he could have a Maryland accent. Who knows?
Mickey Licious. Oh, is Mickey joining on another device? It looks like it. What's Mickey doing now? How many different devices? He's got his iPad, his iPhone. How is he signed into 2 different? What is he doing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see what he did here.
I hear a voice.
You don't see him? You don't see him?
I see him.
Oh, okay.
You don't see me?
Health and beauty.
Yeah. Oracle Health. I see that in the background.
Holy shit. He got his virtual background to work good. I'm so thankful for that.
It doesn't look like a jacked up green screen.
No, it looks like he's got a wall behind him for the most part anyway.
Oh, it's just a little background.
Hey, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. So, we took some of your advice and we have a topic. We have a pop culture topic to discuss. The 3rd season, the production of the 3rd seasons of Rogues and Sinister.
Okay, you said the 3rd season now? Okay, we're talking about the 3rd season, which is production. Oh, production. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when do you project us shooting everything? What's your timeline looking like?
I'm hoping for 1 weekend in October, 1 weekend in December, and 1 weekend in January. And as you well know, based on quarantine, COVID, minimal production, minimal cast crew. It would just be one day with each of you like it was before, because the production before of how we shot the second seasons is perfect for the way the world is doing productions now. And so...
Wait, we did the second season all separate, and the first season we did it together?
Well, we went pretty fucking hardcore, and we shot the second seasons of both Rogues and Sinister in one weekend with both of you.
Right, till like 5 a.m. Right?
Right, but, well, in this case, the only thing that would be different is I would only have Tech over for like one day for, 8 hours, get as many sessions done as possible. The next day, I would have you come over, as many sessions as I can get with you.
Right.
For like 8 hours, break for lunch or whatever, and then and then stop and have dinner or whatever, and then that's a wrap.
Right. Okay.
And so that's just Rogues. And then the next month, do it again. But instead of you, it would be Clark Kent and TECHFALL, because he wasn't in Rogues, but he could do voiceovers for Rogues, but he wasn't in Rogues. But he was in. He was in Sinister.
He was in Sinister.
Tech was in both. You were only in Sinister.
Right.
But you could do voiceovers for Rogues if you wanted to.
Sure.
But no, in this case, you could be in it as that character that you did voiceovers for Rogues. What was his name? Richard Blacksmith or something like that.
The director's asking the goon actor something like, "There's no way we'd ever know."
You don't remember the name of your character?
Damon Viteri. That's all I know.
That was in Sinister. What was the name of your character that you did voiceovers for in Rogues?
Oh, yeah. I would need a visual. I'm just this stupid male.
Fuck, that was so for DC, you were a voiceover of the guy that founded Blackgate Penitentiary,
right?
Which then was eventually bought out by Arkham to be Arkham Penitentiary, and then you have Arkham Asylum, and you have Arkham Medical Center.
We need like a professional geek, man. You're really not cutting it right now. We need like one of these, fans on the internet to come in here and be like, "Look, this is who you were in the first season.
No.
They're not the same."
Actually, this villain was actually a villain, most notably a foe of Superman, not Batman.
I'm saying we need like mystery theater 3000 type of like setup where we get this little guy in the corner there, and we unmute him when he's dead.
You just get one of those guys from the Comic-Con.
Actually, if my memory serves me correctly.
May I interject, Nelson?
Yes, Mickey.
I just have one point about Damon Viteri's character. He seems to keep going from a southern accent to a northeastern.
I don't know what's up with that.
Does he have a twin brother or something? Because I've never read that in the comic book before.
It's a simple matter of PTSD, since he was a SHIELD agent for so long with so many different identities and secret identities,
right,
and cover names, that when he started on the show, he slipped out into like his real identity. He's a good old country boy that went into the army and got recruited by SHIELD and worked his way up in SHIELD, and he lost his accent. But on the set of the show, he started having a few cocktails and laying back with the director and some of the other talent on the show. And
no homo.
And his good old country boy accent started slipping out.
Right.
Well,
I mean, he definitely, you call it the Saint effect, like the movie The Saint.
The Saint effect. Okay, I like that. I gotta jot that down. The Saint effect. Yeah.
Sack of potatoes. Great movie.
Hey, listen, I gotta commend you. Mick, on the fact that you are so hell bent on business and entrepreneurship and growing yourself,
You know what's funny?
That you had no idea what was going on in DC for the fucking last week.
Yo, Donald Trump could have been assassinated. I would be I would have no idea.
Dude, Mickey had
like,
8
what?
screens up, man. Monitoring 8 screens. That's unbelievable.
What screens are you talking? Are you talking about stock trading? No, man. All I do is this.
He's got all these tickers going by, man. He's got all these tickers.
All you need these days is just a phone, man. Double your money. Phone. That's the only tool you need. You got everything on there you need.
The Saint effect, man. The Saint effect. You get this. You get Mickey. You know, Mickey's all business right now, man.
He's all about business.
I'm all about that business. The second this kid gets out into Colorado Springs, though, bruh, I'm all about snowboarding, bro. I'm all
Let me
about.
tell you something.
I'm growing my own produce in my backyard, brah.
And you should.
What's gonna happen?
And you should.
I know exactly what's gonna happen, but please,
it's a lucrative business.
I know exactly what's gonna happen, but give me your rendition, please.
So that's again. You definitely you've never been able to predict anything about my life ever, except maybe maybe every breakup I've ever had in my romantic career, right? That's about the only thing you can put money on, right? Other than that, right? Not pointing any fingers anywhere, because that's just the way life is sometimes. But when you start to lose so consecutively in your life, you start to appreciate why you're losing and why you never want to lose ever again. And then you realize it doesn't fucking matter if Trump got assassinated. That has nothing to do with me not losing, or it has nothing to do with me winning. So if it doesn't add value, if there's no value add to my life in terms of a win, I'm not fucking touching it. If snowboarding is going to add value, I'll do that. If growing produce is going to add value, I'll do that. If it doesn't, not touching it. I mean, like, generally speaking, I'll do it once in a while. But
that's the only reason why I brought that up is because you were mentioning going back out to the Springs. That's the only reason why I brought that up.
Dude, you could be like the Mr. Nice Guy out there, man. Mr. Nice Guy.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jon Stewart, Dave Chappelle already got that covered.
I like that shirt, by the way. I have not seen a Slayer shirt in like 15 fucking years. Where did you find that relic?
Dude, he must have found it in Fredericksburg, Virginia at all those.
You know, it's funny.
Those thrift stores.
Lift it up a little bit. Lift it up a little bit. Like centered. Boom. All right. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
this is legit my brother's shirt from like the 70s. This is like authentic too. Like, I just found it.
80s, by the way. 80s, but yeah.
80s. I don't even listen to Slayer. I don't know, but I know it's definitely before my time.
Dude, so Slayer's concert, man, it would change your life.
I bet it would.
Fastest guitar, the fastest guitar shredding on the planet, dude.
You guys want to hear the craziest story about Dave Mustain? You know who Dave Mustain is?
No. What group?
Dave Mustain used to be in Metallica. Then he was kicked out of Metallica.
Dude, the bassist?
Yeah, and then later died. Right?
I did not. Was Dave Mustaine replaced by? Was Dave Mustaine the one that ended up being the lead singer of Megadeth, or the one replaced Megadeth?
Dave Mustaine put together Megadeth.
Okay, all right.
Because he got kicked out of Metallica.
So this was like after the first Metallica album. He was on the first Metallica album, I think. Yeah,
that's right.
And then he started Megadeth. Yep.
And then on the backside, I was reading this in a book. On the backside of that huge, change in direction in his life, he was never ever able to live down the fact, that he got kicked out of Metallica, which they ended up being one of the greatest metal bands of all time. That even when he put together Metal Death, he constantly wanted to sell as many records as Metallica. He could never be happy. He could never find satisfaction in life. Yep. Because he got kicked out of Metallica, even despite going on to be one of the best-selling recording artists in that particular genre ever, right? I'm not a fan of him. I don't know the music, but the story is so compelling because the lesson of that one loss, right?
Yep.
Like destroyed his life. And it's not because losing is a bad thing. It's because his perception of that loss was it'll never be as good as as being the basis of Metallica. So I don't care. I don't care if I'm the lead singer of Megadeth and we sell out, you know, concerts. We're not as big as Metallica. And he like suffered with depression and like went through several wives and then ended up like, you know, prematurely dying. But the point is, you can look at everything, right, including a loss, in either a good way, have a good perspective about it. And I've looked at many of my losses in the past in a negative way, and I realized that perspective is 90% of the outcome of your life. The moment you change your perspective, right? Dave could have changed his perspective on that and said, wait a minute, I'm not Metallica, but I'm like the second greatest metal band of all time. Still an A player in an A game.
Yep.
I mean, like, so what, dude? Like, but most people, even the top of their field, struggle with that. So just imagine, like, you know, how difficult of a mindset it must be for anybody, a janitor or, you know, whatever, a president. Like, if you don't have that, like, proper perspective, how difficult life can be, you know, for yourself. It's crazy.
You take the ups, man.
Got to.
You got to take the ups. I mean, what's like, and you guys have heard me preaching this, you know, to you guys during the shittiest times right now. This is probably one of the toughest times that
these are the greatest times.
Right. It's how you fucking. It's how you work it.
The greatest companies will come out of this time.
It's how you work it, but it's all about how you work it. I mean, you either find this as an opportunity, or you find this as a coffin.
Dude, this has been the greatest. This is, for me personally, this has been the greatest moment of my life, and I know the entire world is mostly on the opposite page. But there's a few of us out there that feel the same way that I do, right? And I hope all three of us, you know, fall in that same category, because we all could be doing the same thing we were doing before. But what just happened, this complete halt, has really either been able to make your life better or way worse. But it's totally up to you. Completely your choice. How you see it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And that's like, you know, that's been the pinnacle of this podcast. And its message is like, what is you know, what is you know, what's the shining star of, you know, of this new normal, of, you know, this quarantine and this shelter in place and this bunker down and put up the shutters and you know, and put up the hurricane boards. I mean, fuck, we're getting hit with category 4 hurricanes now.
I think I saw it.
We've got riots. We've got civil unrest. We've got, you know, racial tensions. But what are the shining stars? What is coming up from this? I mean, fuck, man, we just lost the Black Panther.
Chad Boswick.
You know what I'm saying? We just lost. Yeah. We just lost the King T'Challa of Wakanda.
And his story, you heard about his story. He's been fighting cancer for the last 4 years.
And who the fuck knew?
This is like the character. This is the kind of thing we're talking about right now. I think in COVID. That, by the way, it's also the birthday of the first Black baseball player who hit the home run record.
Jackie Robinson.
I think it's Jackie Robinson's birthday today. He died on Jackie Robinson's birthday.
Who I think he played.
No.
Yeah, he did play Jackie Robinson.
Played Jackie, didn't
he? The film 42.
42.
Oh yeah, he did play him. You're right. Did he? Oh my God. That's so trippy. What a dude! This whole thing is a simulation. There's no coincidence. That's crazy.
It's it goes without saying we're living in the Matrix.
Dude, I mean, just look, like that latest episode of Sinister Infinite. You know, my character's talking about Wall Street trading and all. Like, it's just so weird, dude. It's so random and weird. Like, I hope my car doesn't blow up tomorrow, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Super. Yeah. He died on Jackie Robinson Day. Yep.
On Jackie
Black
Robinson?
Panther.
He died on Jackie Robinson Day or his birthday?
Jackie Robinson Day, which may be his birthday. I have to find out. Yeah, I don't know.
But he played Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, that's correct. He did play Jackie Robinson in the movie 42.
In the movie 42.
That's right.
Yep. And that came out in 2013.
And this guy used to go and see cancer patients all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, a lot of actors do. And you would see now you see the picture of his face. You see this morose look on his face, like this is what I'm dealing with.
And I thought it was COVID, dude. I thought it was COVID because Jimmy Fallon did an interview with him, and he had a big beard. He had like a big fucking afro, like it looked like COVID hair. You know what I mean? A big beard, you know, a big afro, and he looked like a hippie from the 70s, and it looked like he was just chilling in his fucking mansion.
Yeah,
like just it was, and it looked just like like I got.
Yeah, can you bring that up?
I got the white guy version of COVID hair. But
bring up that interview real quick. That would be just
the problem is I might get kicked from it, but
less than 10 seconds.
Oh, that's a good point.
And then you could take the audio down too, right? So that it's not audio infringement.
But dude, I mean, like I saw him and he looked really skinny, really gaunt, and I just figured he's just chilling in the house. Like he's on his off time. He ain't lifting. Like, dude, they're like
he lost weight, man. He lost weight.
But see, Chris Evans looks different. He'll do Captain America, and then he'll do like an indie film. Then he'll do another Captain America Avengers movie. Then he'll do an indie film. And he stops lifting and stops like shoving protein and salads down his throat. And he's working on like an art house film where he's not as fucking jacked and shredded. Like who the fuck?
Yeah.
Like
Christian Bale did the mechanic.
Christian Bale doesn't count, dude. Christian Bale doesn't count.
Well,
that's a fucking phenom. That guy's a fucking maniac because what he did for The Machinist, and then for Batman Begins, and then Rescue Dawn, and then Dark Knight, and then stayed in shape for Dark Knight Rises, and then a couple of other and he stayed in shape for Terminator Salvation, and then a couple other films here, there, and then packed on so much fucking weight for Hustle something.
I think he did lose weight for the Fighter. I think he had to lose weight for that film.
Then he lost all again.
Yeah, because he was super skinny.
Yep.
In that film, because he was portraying a crack addict.
He's playing the fucking crackhead.
So he had to drop all that weight for that role.
But then he played.
And The Machinist, he lost like 47 pounds in a very short period of time. It was like the most weight anybody has lost for a film.
See, Christian Bale doesn't fucking count, dude, because that guy's like a fucking phenom. And then he gained all the weight for that movie where he had a big pot belly and long hair but balding on top because he was remember he was a scam artist.
Yeah,
Bradley Cooper.
It was I think it was American Hustle, and then he lost it for something else. He was looking great. And then he got fat again for Vice to play Dick Cheney. Yeah.
So Christian Bale doesn't even count for that. I'm talking about like Chris Evans gets fucking shredded and jacked and then just doesn't lift anymore for like some, indie film. And then he gets jacked up again for another Captain America role. And then he just stops lifting. And it's like, you can tell a physical difference. It's like Joaquin Phoenix doesn't count either, dude. That guy gains it and loses it, gains it, loses it. Like he lost a ton of weight for the Joker role. But have you seen him recently? He gained it all back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those guys don't count. Jared Leto, fuck out of here. Like those guys are like on a whole separate level. I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr. See, Robert Downey Jr. always stayed in great shape though, because even in Sherlock Holmes, he was like an underground prize fighter.
Yeah, he never got out of shape.
He was in great shape for both Sherlock and for Iron Man, but
yeah, I'm sure in Iron Man he had to be in a gym and a lot more, than he was. Of course.
I'm thinking Anthony Mackie. All right, so he's Falcon. He's Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon. And
that's probably going to be the next Black Panther, by the way.
Well, no, he can't.
No, he can't be, right? Because
he's taken over. He's taken over
About
as
to be Captain America.
Yeah, he's Captain America now.
Dude, just put Sammy J in there, bro.
No.
No brainer.
The
Put in
beauty
Sammy
of it,
J.
no, the beauty of it is
Can't be
what?
now.
Put what?
Put in Sammy
Can't be.
J.
Sammy J's already.
Samuel L. Jackson. He can do it all, man. Hey, you want to play Black Panther? Sure, I'll do it.
Hey, motherfucker! I'm King
Dude,
T'Challa.
the guy played Nick Fury, man.
Motherfucker.
He's already Nick Fury. Listen.
Yeah.
In Black Panther, he had a sister. So comic book wise, if you want to be a geek about it, she eventually does take over as.
That's why we need
Black
that guy
Panther.
in the corner. Yeah.
What?
That's why we need that little guy in the corner, man. He knows all the stuff.
By the way,
excuse me, Nelson.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that girl that was the big techie in Black Panther? His sister. She does eventually take over the helm of Black Panther in the comics. Issues 273, 274, 275, and 276.
Technically, Doctor's not dead. She wasn't killed because.
Excuse me. Correction. To be specific.
And then mute. Just back on mute. And then he's like,
all right, fuck off.
Be great. I'm telling you, Mystery Theater.
Yeah, whatever. We're not having that guy on the show.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, moving on. So, Mickey, I know there's only one thing that you will divulge in per month: movie, series. No books, because I know you read tons of books. We'll get to books later. But
I will tell you what I divulged in this time.
If you can get well, first you got to get your camera working, because I'm not going to look at your logo the whole time. Excuse me. If you press the camera button on the Zoom icon, then you might. All right. Well, we'll pass. Oh.
Wow, when did you create this?
Just today.
Very nice.
You created the music for it too?
Oh yeah. If I created the music for it, I probably wouldn't tell you. But no, I didn't. I didn't do that. No.
Okay, so
it would have been a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah. I mean, I've got music at your house I could use. I've got to come over there and get it, dude, to use it. But yeah, that would be cool. I agree, and I will do that at some point when I'm promoting stuff. So
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
You definitely use your own music, man. Why
all
not?
right.
It's at your house. That's why not.
All right, what's the last movie?
You don't know how to email shit.
That is true.
For like a year and a half, you're like, I don't think email exists yet. We're talking about another century. Might come out in the future.
Wait.
Technically, it came out in 1989. Was the first email ever sent.
Do we actually have a podcast coming up? I'm not getting notification. Tech.
Well, dude, that track got finished, by the way. I got to send it to you.
You have to hit accept on the Google Calendar.
You did not touch that track, did you?
I mean,
he finished it.
Needs to be done, dude.
It's finished. You think it's done?
I mean, I think it's done. What else you want me to do to
No,
it?
no.
I just gotta punch it in Logic and tweak it, but that's about it. But as far as laying everything out is done.
All you need is a keyboard. All you need is a laptop.
All you need is one mic.
That's all you need. You don't need much to produce music these days.
You don't. All you need is one button.
You already have Ableton. Just hit a button.
All you gotta do is hit a button, man, and maybe a couple of knobs to twist.
So easy, man. So easy.
All right. You know what? I'll let Mickey think about a movie or a TV show that he's watched. But Tech, what's the last thing you watched?
I just watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. It was a great flick. I mean, it didn't go exactly how it was supposed to go in real life, but the ending was pretty ridiculous.
What platform did you watch it on? Was it on Prime, Hulu?
No, on Stars.
You have Stars?
That's a the platform I watched it on.
Okay.
So, like, I didn't really know.
What is that?
This is a great moment, is what it is. But go ahead, tell us more about what happened.
I mean, the ending was just ridiculous. Like, it was.
Yo,
The ending was more of what I thought it should be as far as a Quentin Tarantino flick.
When he pulled out the flamethrower that he kept from that movie,
I'm like, okay, now I see the Tarantino coming out, you know,
Yeah.
like, cause he's known for like execution type films, you know, very violent, very vivid executions. And that's what came out at the end of the film. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, that's the Tarantino I knew from every film that he's done in the past, as far as from like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
I don't know, man. Like, he is pushing this, in my personal opinion, and I love all of his movies, and I loved Once Upon a Time in China. And it's a funny story, not that funny, but kind of funny. So it took me like maybe a day and a half to watch this movie, because it's like this decade these actors are successful, then this decade they're not, and then they kind of find their foot again.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
And I get that. But it was so long, and it's like it's just building and building and building and building. And Tarantino is notorious for that. And you saw a major change in Tarantino's his style and his story building with Death Proof. If you ever seen Death Proof, fuck, man. I remember being in the theater watching Death Proof, and for 2 hours, me and two of my buddies and everybody around us, we know this is a Tarantino movie. What the fuck? So long. An hour of them talking in the diner. What the fuck? And then the last 30 minutes, you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's like the best fucking
it was
30
like
minutes.
The ending was,
and he did the
phenomenal,
same,
you know.
And he did the same bullshit with Hateful Eight, and he did the same bullshit with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you know, like, he's notorious for that. Starting, it seemed to me that it started with Death Proof, because Kill Bill to me was never boring.
No.
Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. Fuck, I can't remember. The one, Jackie Brown.
Like, some of his flicks are just like, you know, you watch them and you're just in tune the whole time. Like, you're entertained the whole time.
Right.
But this one, I didn't feel like I was entertained the entire time.
Now,
you know,
what's funny is I watched like half of it, and then me and Mickey go on a trip to New York, on a business trip to New York, and I'm just about 45 minutes left, and I'm like, bro, do you mind if I just finish this? And he goes, I'll watch it. And Mickey got lucky enough to watch the last 45 minutes of it with me, and he saw the best part. And it was just basically the ending. It was just basically, you know, Leo and Brad fucking destroying everybody. And it was fantastic. And like, he pulled out that flamethrower that he just kept from the Dirty Dozen, if you will. Inglourious Bastards, that's what it was. Inglourious Bastards. So you're saying, like, obviously it wasn't factually accurate. Of course it wasn't.
It wasn't factually accurate.
If you watched Inglourious Bastards, it was called Inglourious Bastards, but the opening titles, it said Once Upon a Time ... and then the film started. It was a fantasy. It was a what if they killed Hitler. Okay. In battle, they were able to assassinate him like we always wanted to do throughout World War II. The title of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What if Manson never was able to have Sharon Tate killed? What if his cult was killed off by these two struggling action stars?
Yeah. What if
Once Upon a Time
to Once Upon a Wrong House? You know, because that's basically what Tarantino direction went.
The phrase.
into the wrong house.
Yep.
Instead of the neighbors, which was
Right.
Sharon Tate.
Right.
And in the Polanski guy.
Polanski's house.
Where Sharon Tate. And that's where actually the murder occurred. But Tarantino kind of flipped it around and said, okay, we're going to put him in
a what if.
Jack Dalton's or Rick Dalton's house.
Once upon a time means, AKA, what if. So when Inglourious Bastards, when the movie started, this title card came up. Once upon a time, ... and then faded into a French countryside where that SS officer went to interview that French dude and said, do you know where there's any Jews hiding? And then there you are. He's the Nazi hunter. I'm sorry. He's the Jew hunter. And the Inglourious Bastards started. But the Inglourious Bastards started off with this text, once upon a time. It means, in essence, it means what if.
Yeah.
He made his own movie. He made his own history. He made what he wanted to see.
Yeah, that's basically what he did at the end of this movie. Is that he put his own twist on it.
Because Sharon Tate was hot, man.
You
know, he didn't want her to die.
So it was a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. The ending was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, a typical Tarantino execution.
I tell you, man. You know, my mom has never liked Tarantino movies. And she actually liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You definitely got to appreciate his work. I mean, it's different.
No, she actually enjoyed.
He's not this off the beat filmmaker anymore. He's a mainstream household filmmaker now.
There's talk of him doing a Star Trek movie.
The more he does movies, the more he shows that he can take on those kinds of responsibilities of like major franchises. He's not so off the wall like people like originally. He's just a good visionary, you know, like he's a good.
But not only that, he accepts the fact that even he is still growing as an artist.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you take Reservoir Dogs to the movie that you were just talking about, Chris.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to a Star Trek franchise. I mean, only a good storyteller can have that kind of range. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where he knows it's not appropriate. Like everyone has their flair and their style, but the guy knows how to put forward a story and make it compelling and make it dramatic. And it doesn't have to be gore like Reservoir Dogs was.
But however,
it's just like Steven Spielberg branched out and did a lot of different films that you would never thought
Spielberg
that
did Schindler's List.
He did Schindler's List.
That was a huge 180.
He did Saving Private Ryan.
And then Saving Private Ryan was
those are two completely different movies
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
1, 2, and 3.
Those type of movies.
He produced Back to the Future.
Produced it.
Yep.
Yep.
So those type of movies, like you wouldn't expect
sci-fi,
do something
adventure, comedy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, those big hit movies, and then you do a Schindler's List.
And then a Schindler's List.
And then you just wow.
What the fuck?
It kind of makes sense because, you know, the guy used to do stuff that he loved to do as a younger, you know, filmmaker. And then as he got older, we found out he was a history buff. And then he started
and also he's Jewish. And also he's Jewish. And he probably heard stories from relatives that survived the Holocaust. I'm sure Spielberg had survivor relatives. You know what I mean?
I'm sure. Yeah,
absolutely. And so he's like, I always want to tell this story, but the way to break in is a certain.
In fact, I know for a fact that
you have to break in doing what you want to do and what you like and what you dig, and then you have that big thing. Now you've kind of built some cred. You built some street cred because you take a look at Spike Lee, and Spike Lee was an indie filmmaker. Spike Lee, for example, is an indie filmmaker, and to me, Spike Lee is the modern day Kurt Vonnegut, satire. He found a way to satirize social injustice, racism, sexism, violence, in a lot interracial relationships, a lot of major and micro issues that he's dealt with. He found a way to satirize that, and almost to where once you're chuckling, then he throws a major left hook out of nowhere at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But to me, Spike Lee is the modern day Kurt Vonnegut when he takes some serious fucked up stuff and kind of satirizes it. And that was his niche. And then out of the fucking blue, he is nominated for an Oscar for The Inside Man, a heist movie. Clive Owen, Denzel Washington, Jodie Foster, a heist movie. And he gets an Oscar nom.
If Spike Lee is Vonnegut, then Tarantino is Bukowski, man.
Who?
Charles Bukowski.
Well, listen.
Just reckless. He's just reckless. It's really kind of.
Well, I don't think he's reckless. Now, the beauty would,
as a filmmaker, he's not worried about maybe
right now. But the beauty of Tarantino is Tarantino was a film buff first. He loved movies. He stayed up all night watching all these fucking movie matinees on TV.
Right? I am. As a director, that's a requisite.
As a writer, director, even as an actor, like I know all the cop movies and I know where I fit in as an actor. It's just to play. I tell people all the time, hey, typecast me. By all means, typecast me as an actor. Play the cop, play the detective, play the military role. Because I'm good at it. I want work. I love to live on set. As a filmmaker, there's a bunch of movies that I love that I want to make movies in that realm. Tarantino was the same way. He said, I want to make one movie of every kind of movie I love. The first movie he wrote was a serial killer movie, Natural Born Killers. Oliver Stone directed it. Then he wrote two more scripts. He wrote a bandit script, True Romance, and he wrote a heist film, Reservoir Dogs.
True Romance is one of my favorite movies also.
And so he was given the option, you can direct one. You wrote two scripts, you can direct one, somebody else is going to direct it. Tony Scott, and so he said, I'll direct Reservoir Dogs. So Tony Scott directed True Romance. So he wrote a serial killer movie, he wrote a bandit film, he wrote and directed a heist movie. And he said, you know what I'm going to do? I love heist movies so much. I'm going to write and direct a heist movie and never show the fucking heist. And then he wrote like a Hitman. And then Pulp Fiction was like, he was so successful with Reservoir Dogs, he kind of went a little extra mile being experimental.
Pulp Fiction was like a 70s, like a retro.
What?
Like that style of movie. Like
which
Pulp
movie?
Fiction. Pulp Fiction.
So Pulp Fiction is based on like those pulp crime novels, those pulp crime comics. There, you've got it was always called like pulp crime or pulp horror or whatever, pulp, and it's just like like these awful crime stories or these awful horror stories or whatever. But he took 4 different shorts that he might have written and he just kind of jam-packed them in, and it was basically he wrote a Hitman movie. And then with Jackie Brown, that was based on a book that someone else wrote. So he wrote
that was retro, yeah.
But he wrote, but he adapted that for the screen and he directed Jackie Brown. And that's another heist-ish movie, basically. And then Jackie Brown was followed by From Dusk Till Dawn. So now he wants his horror movie. And he wrote From Dusk Till Dawn, and Robert Rodriguez directed it. But now he's got his horror movie. And then with Kill Bill, I think Kill Bill was next. And that's his martial arts movie. He always wanted to write a kung fu movie or a samurai movie. He kind of jam-packed both kung fu samurai movie. Kill Bill was supposed to be like a 3.5 hour epic. They were like, no fucking way. So he made volume 1 and 2. So it's really a 2-parter, but really that was supposed to be one full film. And then he wanted to write it. And then he wanted to do a war movie because he loved Dirty Dozen. He loved the original Inglourious Basterds. He loved Kelly's Heroes and all those campy fucking World War II movies and all those the Green Berets with John Wayne. So he did a semi remake of the Inglourious Basterds, but he went way off the fucking rails with it. So he did a war movie, and then he's like, okay, I want to do a Western. So he did 2 Westerns, Django and Hateful Eight.
Oh my God, Django. I forgot about that. Hateful Eight was probably his making up for Django.
Django was great.
Wasn't Django the one with Will Smith? No, Django was
Jamie Foxx.
That was Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yep, and Chris Waltz again.
So he did two of that kind of movie.
He did 2 westerns, but he also wanted to remake The Thing, and he couldn't find a way to remake The Thing. So he totally rewrote The Thing into The Hateful Eight. If you ever watch the Kurt Russell movie The Thing from 1981 or 1982, you know the movie The Thing? You ever seen it?
I love that show. Yeah,
one of my top 3 horror movies ever made, The Thing. The Hateful Eight is a remake of The Thing, even with Kurt Russell. You know that, right?
Mm-mm.
You watch The Thing, you watch The Hateful Eight. It's a fucking remake.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sort of. Change it to the Old West. Instead of an alien, it's a bandit. There's a criminal that they're hunting.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I think you told me this whole theory. Yeah. You told me this. This is like a real film buff kind of thing to know. Yeah.
And at the very end, and at the very fucking end, there's a black guy and a white guy dying together.
Is that how The Thing ends?
Yep.
Okay.
Keith David and Kurt Russell of The Thing.
Kurt Russell was in The Thing?
Kurt Russell was the star of The Thing.
I've got to watch all these movies, man. I feel like I'm missing out on so many classics.
Yeah, he's also acting in a ton of movies. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, like the amount of movies.
Who?
Kurt Russell?
No, Tarantino.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a struggling actor also in Hollywood. He worked at a video rental store. That's how he got all his knowledge. I was always a movie buff, so when I got my job at Blockbuster, I went straight to Towson and transferred to a Blockbuster in Towson.
Yeah.
That was my homework, dude. You remember all those DVDs and tapes I was bringing?
Homework. You've logged in 700,000 hours of homework, bro, since you got that job. Forget 10,000. You're like several lifetimes in of homework, dude.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of movies, my friend. I've seen a lot.
I don't even want to know what the number is. Probably like the volume is probably so much more than
dude. You probably watch every Tarantino film known to man.
There's only
you
8.
Probably watched as many movies as I've heard songs in my life, dude.
No, there's only 9.
That's not even more.
But there's only 9 Tarantino movies. Right. 11 if you count Natural Born Killers and True Romance. There's only 9 plus 2 Tarantino movies. There's only 9. I'm not counting the ones he acted in, because he acted in a bunch of stuff that.
Yeah, he was in a movie called Death Proof.
He directed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he directed. He made a cameo in every one of them.
Death Proof.
He does a cameo in all his movies.
Mm-hmm. He did a cameo in Little Nicky with Adam Sandler.
Oh, that's right. He was in Little Nicky.
Yeah.
He was the star of this movie called Destiny Turns on the Radio. And this thing was supposed to be the biggest indie hit since Swingers, and it was just trash. I tried to watch it, and I could not. It made no fucking sense. And there were some fucking names in this movie, dude. There were some names. And back then, they were names. And he was the star of it. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? And it was like with the rise of, with the rise of Tarantino's movies, El Mariachi and Desperado, Reservoir Dogs.
Desperado was a really good movie.
Hey, listen, man, we can go off on another hour-long tangent about Rodriguez. The fucking guy made a career out of $10,000, man. El Mariachi, and
What's
now
the story there.
He took two credit cards and drove past the border down to Mexico and turned two credit cards into pesos and made a fucking feature film out of it. And so El Mariachi, I think, cost him about $10,000 US. And then so he was on the same film festival circuit with Tarantino, who was throwing around Reservoir Dogs. And so they just hooked arms. They were like, bro, let's roll with each other everywhere. And they were like, okay. And they were just like showing their film everywhere, and everyone was like, I love El Mariachi, I love Reservoir Dogs. It was the year, I think it was 92, it was the year of the indie crime heist movies and the gangster movies, and that's where Hollywood kind of took a shift, and they started making more hood hip-hop gangster rap based films. They started making more heist movies. Trespass, New Jack City was a big hit, so Reservoir Dogs obviously was going to be a big indie hit, and then El Mariachi was a dope ass gangster flick. And then you had John Woo, who came out with The Killer. So everybody was like, all this gangster shit is blowing the fuck up. So then at that time, man, it was fuck. And also, since Predator 2 was such a big hit, and they took Predator and went to, like, gang-filled, crime-ridden LA. Trespass, I mean, Ice Cube and Ice-T started coming out with movies left and right. It was, remember Trespass?
Yeah, I remember Trespass.
Judgment Night.
That was with Bill Paxton.
Judgment Night, right? Bill Paxton was in Trespass. Judgment Night with
Dennis Leary,
Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Stephen Dorff, Everlast from House of Pain was in it. Jeremy Piven, Ari from Entourage was in it. Everybody was in this fucking movie, bro. And I'm telling you right now, it's funny you mention that, because Judgment Night was one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. Judgment Night's soundtrack created metal rap. Limp Bizkit would not be fucking around if it wasn't for the Judgment Night soundtrack. And who did a track on the Judgment Night soundtrack? Ice-T and Slayer. And you have a fucking Slayer shirt on. I think we should end the show right there. It all came around. The whole universe just collapsed.
Dude, Onyx and Biohazard did a track.
Onyx and Biohazard. Dude, House of Pain and Helmet.
Dude, it was just an awesome track, or awesome soundtrack, dude.
Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam.
Dude, the whole album was phenomenal, because it was like really the first time a full album with all these different artists branching out to all these rock bands and heavy metal bands. And it just worked out great for the movie, because the movie was real dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it took place in the south side of Chicago at Cabrini Green. So it was like they wanted to really dark and vivid. And what kind of music could we put together to tie into this film? And like all these different artists collaborated with these rock bands, and it just came out great.
Well, I think the moral of the story, I mean, like Cuba Gooding Jr., he was from this nice suburb, and his friends and his friends were like, his other friends were these white guys, but these white guys got lost in a hood. But then the two top gangsters in this hood were Dennis Leary, and the fucking and Dennis Leary's right-hand man was that dude.
He played in The Mask.
Yeah, the villain from The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that guy has always played a villain in every movie I've ever seen him in. He's always played that role, so he fit perfectly.
He was a drug dealer in Permanent Midnight with Ben Stiller. Did you ever see Permanent Midnight with Ben Stiller? So Permanent Midnight, quick recap, is based on a true story. Ben Stiller, it's the biopic. Ben Stiller plays the guy who created Alf. The guy who wrote and created the show Alf, who was a heroin addict, and all these different crazy, terrible exploits of being a heroin addict in Hollywood. And that guy from Judgment Night and the villain from The Mask, he was a drug dealer. He was his drug dealer in Permanent Midnight. And he's popped up in a bunch of other stuff too, Yeah,
like his name is Peter Green.
He's very recognizable.
Peter Green is his name.
He's very recognizable. He's got a distinct face, just like Brian's boy. Who the fuck is that guy? The villain from
Brian Thompson.
Brian Thompson, the villain from
Cobra.
Cobra, yeah.
Yeah. He was in Joe Dirt. Brian Thompson was.
Oh, what?
Brian Thompson was in Joe Dirt. He was also in Lionheart with
he was in Lionheart.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, you've had some time there, Mickey. You watched anything recently?
Oh yeah, I think the only thing I watched is I think I watched like the first 15 minutes of Between Two Ferns, is that movie Psycho Panaka's put out on Netflix. The
movie based on his goofy show. Dude,
and it's basically like you know how they used to make SNL spinoffs of like little skits.
Yeah,
it's basically that same concept
Yeah.
where you just have like 17, 25 different versions of like that part of the show.
It's a fake version of Zach Galifianakis and how he's being sued by Matthew McConaughey for almost killing him or something.
That scene in that movie is so funny. No way.
So fucking funny.
Are you serious? From that movie, he's getting sued because he like in that scene there's like all this water and they almost like drown.
That's what the movie's about. Is he's trying not to get sued or something.
Well, it's just like a bad. It's like really low budget, really crappy local television, like super competitive, like amongst each other, but like a bunch of like weird people. That, like,
you know, I don't think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't think I ever finished it either. I think something else came up, and then
I think it just came out like a month ago. It's pretty recent, like. But yeah, it's been like promoted all over YouTube, and so like they've been using like little clips of like the 3-minute his interview with like Charles, Benedict Cumberbatch, and his interview with Matthew McConaughey, and they're just so I love Between Two Ferns. I think that was one of the funniest things since like the inception of SNL comedy skits. Like that's such a like throwback to the era, man.
Who was it that just someone just straight up spat in his face? It was like Brad Pitt, I think.
Oh yeah, right. That was like 5 years ago. Yeah.
He had Barack Obama on his fucking show.
I know. It was so funny. It was so
he had Barack Obama on his show. And Barack was fucking shitting on him the whole time.
Yeah, they're roasting each other the whole time.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd came in there and he's like for this movie, he's like you're like the most well-known Jewish actor that acts like he's not Jewish. He goes, "Are you practicing?" And he goes, "No, I perfected it," or something like that. It was so funny, dude. Such a great reaction, dude. Great response. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. No, man, that show is fucking phenomenal, man. Hey, TECHFALL got the TNT app.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You got Stars and TNT?
That's all he needs, man.
He's killing it right now, man.
He's trying to catch up on that AEW wrestling.
Oh, Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, listen.
Thing.
Listen. There's a great documentary on Hulu called "The Dark Side of the Ring." It's produced in the same vein as the crime reenactment shows.
Oh yeah, you posted it.
Absolutely must watch. Absolutely must watch. You don't even have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy this show. It is so well produced. It pulls back so many curtains. Wrestling has, when people say wrestling's fake, it is so blurry about what's fake and what's real.
Oh, because it's so they're so dramatic in their careers too. Yeah, for sure. I believe that. I totally believe that.
But it's so physical. It is choreographed fight scenes. It's stunt play.
People died in this career.
Yeah. The Dark Side of the Ring is one of the most. Listen, man, I'm telling you. And so Vice there's a production company, Vice. They got their own channel on YouTube, and I think they have their own app now. But they produce a bunch of different series, like Vice.
Yeah, they have everything. They have like several different apps. Yeah. Vice is huge.
So
Vice is like disrupting mainstream media.
Yeah, they started new media basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they produced The Dark Side of the Ring, and then there's another show they produced called The Wrestlers, and that's a docu-series about like these bizarre wrestling groups, outfits, promotions, whatever you want to call it, like in Japan, in Bolivia, in Canada, like some bizarre shit you never heard of. And my favorite one is this Japanese episode. It's called, I can't remember, DDT. It's called DDT. I can't remember what it stands for. It's called like Dynamic Dream Team or something like that. I'm totally fucking biffing that, but it is just so off the wall. It's one of the best ones. It's the Japanese DDT promotion that is the best episode of that. But without a doubt, The Dark Side of the Ring is one of the best produced docudrama series ever made about wrestling. It's so provocative, detailed. And Jim Cornette, you remember Jim Cornette?
Yeah.
Tennis racket?
Mm-hmm.
He knows, if you think I know everything about film, he knows everything about pro wrestling. Everything. And he is the highlight of the show. When they start interviewing him, when he starts so you know how like the crime reenactments work, and you have the talking head. You know, we produced our own crime shows. You know how the talking heads work, and they're talking to the camera. When he is the talking head, it is the highlight of the whole series. He is raw. He's energetic. He does not give a fuck. If he says he hates someone, he tells you and illustrates how much he hates someone, and so on and so forth. Jim Cornette is one of my favorite wrestling personalities to this date.
Yeah, I have to check that one out.
So what's next on the agenda, TECHFALL? Start with you.
Just continue working on music and continue doing these podcasts and getting new listeners, new followers. And that's pretty much it. Gearing up for season 3 of Rogues Gallery and Sinister Infinite. So I'm looking forward to shooting that in the fall and getting that rolling as far as production wise. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the agenda. I mean, other than linking up with some other producers and collaborating with some other artists. So, yeah, that's it for the rest of 2020.
And something else he's doing for the rest of this year is he's going to learn how to build a portfolio. So we start siphoning money into Dead On Productions and Pictures and his music and his wrestling career that he hasn't started yet, that he's going to compete with Orange Cassidy in.
Yeah, right.
And all that money.
Apple Cassidy. We got Apple Cassidy over here.
Apple Cassidy.
Apple Rum Cassidy. I love it. But yeah, he's right, Chris. We're going to start getting you on the program, man. We're going to get you out of the comfort zone and into the tech zone.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
You ready?
What's
into
next?
The tech zone.
Is that it? Is that it, Tech? You're going to build your portfolio, and what else? Is that it for the agenda?
Yeah, that's it.
And stay alive during fires, I guess.
Yeah.
And don't die. Yeah.
Not dying.
Not gonna die.
That's always the agenda.
That's always the agenda, man. Hey, what's next on the agenda for Mickey, Oracle Health and Beauty?
Yeah. So, gosh, I've had a very interesting realization about this business in the United States. The way that this business is run is a little bit different than overseas. So I had a meeting with a potential partner, a connection over there in Estonia where my family is. And they have a branch of our business over there. And it's much more focused on the network side of things. So you're just bringing people in. There's unfortunately no overhead. So there's virtually zero investment, and you're just getting people to be part of the network and just redirect their buying power. So it's a much better, like if you're not an investor, which I am, if you're not an investor, you're just somebody who wants to just make a little bit of money, just networking and getting into meetings and things like that, and just meeting people and getting them involved and moving their purchasing power to one store, Walmart, to another store, which is, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but a different distribution chain. There's no commitment monetarily, which, as I just found this out, makes me realize I don't mind, putting money into stuff as an investor. That's fine. I'm going to get it back in something else anyway. But it makes it very exclusive for Americans in this company here to partner, with a distribution chain like this in America, because you're basically saying you have to sell as much volume as a real store like Walmart or a bodega, and you've got to be able to build a team. Whereas there, you just got to build a team and you could still make money. So it's a very interesting contrast. It's very much like capitalism on full tilt here in America, and Therefore, the success rate is much smaller and at the top, much like America would be, like Manifest Destiny would entail. Mm-hmm. And over there in Europe, it's much more built around the community and built around people sort of saying, hey, if we get together and we build a team and we all start redirecting our purchasing power away from a corporate store into our own networks and community like Uber and Airbnb and Facebook has done, then we're going to get our money coming to us instead of our money going to like the Walton family. And if you want to sell stuff, great, but you don't have to. And you could still find a way to like make money, save money. Like it's much less ruthless entrepreneurialism, which in Europe, entrepreneurialism is virtually dead compared to America. But in America, the lines between entrepreneurialism and business are blurred. So like people who are good at business will probably do very good in a business like this that's entrepreneur driven, but true entrepreneurs might struggle in a business like this because it's not your idea, right? You're basically distributing another supply chain's product. So it's just very interesting how I'm realizing that if I burn the candle at both ends and I get involved in both businesses, I'm probably going to be able to take advantage of both, but I might see different success over there than I might see over here. It might take longer here. It might take less time there. The profitability might be less in the long term there. It might be better in the long term here. But it's just interesting to see. So that's kind of not to go off on a tangent. Go ahead.
No, but that's fine. But like, what's stopping you from just doing both?
Nothing. I'm actually going to be launching my business over there shortly. I just had a meeting about
doing what?
Same thing.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Same thing. So I'll be traveling over to Europe, and then now I have access to all these American products, so I can take my products and bring it over there and give access to people there.
When you say the same thing, listen. According to Tech, we just got one more viewer, so that's 2 total viewers that we have. Two total fans. We just got a new one. in the beginning of this episode, he just told me that some guy he knows is familiar with Zombie Squad. So I'm baffled. I'm like, we have 2 fans now. So that's 2 now.
Yeah, we have 2 followers.
What? So when 100% growth.
When you say the same, growth. So when you say the same thing, that is the same thing of what?
So it's the same, network-based model that Uber and Airbnb built off of a platform that you're disrupting Amazon's disruption of Walmart and physical retail stores. Okay. So this is basically the same thing. You're using a network of your own to redistribute buying power into your own network of people that you know. And the more that you do that, the larger you build it, the more that you're getting money away from corporate America into your own network. Like basically the way Mark Zuckerberg makes money off of us and our data for free, you're basically taking some of Mark Zuckerberg's like purchasing power away from him too by using the same model that Facebook uses, that Amazon uses, that's disrupting Walmart and like physical retail stores, and you're bringing it into your own network, and you're networking with people also, bringing them into your network. And so you're saying, let's all build this in our own community, and we could take away some of the corporate hold that people have over their buying power. Yes, it might cost you a different amount, but you're going to, in long term, this is the trend that the world's going toward, is small brands directly communicating to smaller communities, and those niches finding, a business, a product, a service to offer to that smaller community. And that 5% of that community is enough to build a $30,000 income, much like a person that owns a store on Shopify is only making $30,000 to $50,000 distributing a product from China. So it's kind of the same. That the whole trajectory is moving in that direction. So these kinds of business models are probably going to be new businesses that come out of this. What's unique about ours is that we have a supply chain that's like 100 years old or 60 years old as a company, depending on the product. So they're lowering the price of the product, which is good. But man, now that I know that Europe has a much cheaper version of buy-in, it's like, for me, I'm going to double dip like crazy. Like I'm going to put in the work on both. But like I'm going to find myself making passive incomes in 2 different countries. And I don't think, I have any problem with that, because I've already invested into this version of America, enough to know that I know I've got to be a hardcore distributor. Like I've got to go to big stores and do big ticket clients. Like it's going to take a lot of my time. So having a job already is a conflict in running a business. So I have to like leave my job immediately to really find success in the short term instead of the long term in the US. Whereas in, if I go to Europe for 2 months, I can find success in 2 months. You know what I mean? Because there's no sales component involved. It's just meeting with people and getting them involved in what you're doing and being like, hey, instead of going to the store, why don't you do this? And you can just go directly onto your website and buy your own stuff wholesale. And you're already making yourself and somebody else money if you do the same thing with somebody else, So, God, that's so boring to talk about, but
it is, man. Like, why don't you just get in? Why don't you just get into like porn or something like that?
Because that's a fucking loser's game. I know about losing. I'm not going down that.
I'm done losing, man. I'm done losing.
No. I'm
done banging skanks, and I'm done losing.
He's got that Joe Dirt mentality, man.
No,
2-time loser already. No,
this is what people don't understand. Joe Dirt is a perception of what being a loser is. When losing is actually what people like. The greatest winners are.
Man, how they put up with you, Dirt?
You can't have a serious conversation with TECHFALL, man.
You can't have a serious conversation with anybody these days.
No, man. No, listen.
Everyone's too busy doing fuck all in COVID. They're not doing nothing, man. People are just acting busy. This whole fucking world's about to change in the next 10 years. People are like, yeah, I'm busy doing 20th century shit. It's not going to last. Whatever you're doing, it's not going to be the same in 10 years.
This is where you come back.
I missed the line. What was the line, Tech?
So, touch upon that. No, it was a quote.
That was just a quote from Joe Dirt.
Touching upon that, Mickey, what's your view of what's your continued advanced view of the new normal as you were, touching upon that?
Whatever you do now, you better start figuring out how to get really, really good at it and being able to consult directly to organizations, companies, consumers, because there's going to be two people who work for giant conglomerates, and the other half is going to be the gig economy, which is fast approaching more than people realize. And there are companies like Upwork that are going mainstream. There are companies like Fiverr that have been mainstream, and they're going to start taking over, corporate HR departments, because you can start a company now and go on those websites and find people that are highly skilled. And I think the future is going to be getting really good at a few different skills and then choosing a project, running hard at that project for somebody that is bidding for your time, finishing that project, and then resting. And then doing the same thing over again. Kind of the same model of like Angie's List and all these, what Craigslist kind of started, but on a very large scale corporate mentality.
And you're absolutely right. And I brought this up probably every other episode. And I was just telling Tech, man, this is probably episode 57 of Zombie SquadCAST, and I think every other episode I've been talking about this. Listen, it's nowadays. Listen, we you and I both left Towson, I think, in 03 or 04. And
1804. Yeah, that's right.
1804. Yeah. But in 2004 is when we left Towson, and I got lucky because just basically everybody from Towson just drove right up to Silver Spring, just Discovery Channel's headquarters, turned in their resume, and they said, hey, welcome aboard, entry level, move up. Who do you know? Hey, bro, I just graduated with you, right? And that's, hey, we had cell phones at the time, but other than that,
always been network.
There was classifieds. There might have been a website to find. There was like HollywoodReporter.com, where they had the classifieds section of HollywoodReporter.com or Variety or whatever the fucking case may be. And it wasn't until I think maybe 06 or 07 Craigslist came out. Gigs.
Well, they still had job fairs going on at that time.
Job fair, yeah, sure. Dude,
I mean, you go over there.
Still have job fairs.
Yeah, you go over there and you network like I used to go on a lot of job fairs when I was looking for work in the entertainment business or television, radio, and film. Like they would give a list of what companies were going to be there. Like I went on one, it was like
Yeah, they're just looking
HBO.
for interns.
Like
I feel
like
job fairs are just looking for free interns, man.
No, this one wasn't looking for interns. They were looking for legitimate employees, and a lot of them I went when I got out of the military, because they were looking for veterans, and that's where I met a lot of people, networking, so forth.
Yeah.
When I was going to college, I was like, okay, now I need to find a job. I would go to these different job fairs with all these other veterans, and just hand my resume out to all these different companies and just see if I get a bite and just keep, because they had them going on all over Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So there was always job fairs popping up versus like I was doing the whole Craigslist thing as well back then. But that was the main.
They still had job fairs all the way up until February.
Up until COVID.
Right. But for the last, but around 05, no, around 06, 07, when I was at Discovery Channel, look, Craigslist, Google started popping up, Google started growing, YouTube, you can put your shit out on YouTube and just send links. MySpace, I got a number of gigs off MySpace, Facebook, putting my stuff on YouTube as a reel, as a promotion. Craigslist. I started hitting up Craigslist left and right.
That's how I got into AV business, was through Craigslist.
And then today.
I had an interview, and then I did one gig, and then they kept calling me back, because after you do multiple gigs, like you start getting the lay of the land, like because.
But listen now, man. Now you got apps. You got Indeed. You got Staff Me Up. You got Production Hub. Acting wise, you got Backstage. You got Dragonuck. You got Actors Access. You got.
But it's so easy to, like, once you're in the AV world, like, to get work, because like you'll meet so many different people through these AV jobs, and you'll just get work just by coming to work.
But like Mickey was
more
saying,
work.
But like Mickey was saying, it's because of today's technology, and it's because of easier access to not only information and education, skill sets, certifications with today's technology, but it's also able to network with Facebook, with all these other, with all these staffing and acting and gigging agency apps and sites, that it's growing to be a gig economy instead of this 9-to-5 corporate economy. It's gigging for corporations maybe, but you got a lot of gig workers, and they could work out whatever deal they want. But if your client doesn't want to take that deal, they'll take another gig worker for a deal and negotiations and whatever. And there's some gigs that I took residuals, lifetime residuals for. There's some gigs that I took flat out day rate, flat out week rate, flat out hourly rate, or I took somewhere in between, a percent, points on the back, a little bit of cash on the front. But
the great thing is, like, if you're not satisfied, you don't have to sign the contract that they send you.
The fucking gig in the
you're
first
like,
place.
No, I'm not satisfied, because they always ask me, say, hey, this is going to be the day rate for this gig. We need you here for 4 days. And then you can say yes or you can say no.
All right.
Simple as that. It's not like you go through a complete job interview process, which that can be hectic, because now you're negotiating and stuff like that. Like, I'd much rather do gigging, because you don't have to go through like a 4-day interview process or anything like that. Like, I had an interview, there was the gig, I went to the gig, I got more work after that. That was it.
Yeah.
It was just,
they start calling you.
It was real quick, and they start bombing you like all the time for work.
And listen,
once you're in the door, you're set. That's the good thing about gigging versus going through the whole job interview process.
And you guys remember 09, I pulled the trigger on Dead On, and I went full-time freelance with Dead On. But it wasn't until 2015 I decided, hey, I'll start throwing acting into the thing. Now, with the gigging, with the crew work, with the production work, with behind the camera, I was at a stage where people were calling me direct. I didn't have to seek out gigs. People were calling me direct. It wasn't until like 2019 when I first got, or maybe 2018, but I think it was 2019. I got my first just straight up call. Hey, bro, are you free this week? I got a detective role. I would love for you to fill in. I haven't even posted it up yet. You're the first person I thought of because you're good at it. And that was a huge boost for me, you know, and it was, and it was also the highest paid detective role I had. But at the same time, there was that extra boost. I must be doing something right. I'm on the right track. I'm on the right path. I must be doing something right. I must be good at this. And I love it. Goes without saying that I love it. But I must be doing something right that this Joe called me direct on my phone, more specifically texted me, but you get what I'm saying. He reached out to me direct. He didn't even post it on a casting thing. I didn't respond to like this casting thing on the apps that I mentioned. He straight up texted me because of that gig over and over, gig working, built that resume, built that reel, built that network, built that
reputation.
Thank you. And there it is. It's like, at the time I am my own agent, you know, still. So it's like, got to get an agent, man. Got to get an agent.
In a place like this, you don't need it. There's just a small community of people doing it that like you can stand out and people know Glenn Nelson is the detective you want. You know?
And even better, people don't realize how much work there is out here in this market, and a lot of work that a lot of people see in this market. But like, yeah, it's like it's that reputation, you know.
Yeah, we don't want that Glenn Nelson guy, man. He's a scumbag. We don't want that Glenn Nelson, man.
He can be if he wants to be. He can be if you flip that switch on him. He can be.
He plays one on.
Don't ask for him.
He plays one on TV.
He plays one on TV.
I'm not an asshole. I just play one on TV. Tech. You know, I'll go to you first, man. What's the last point of advice, man? Like, what's something you want to close out with?
Just keep grinding, you know. Just, you know, stay positive, stay focused, and do what you got to do. You know, that's pretty much it, man. Cutting straight to the point.
Mickey,
I read this quote from the Buddha, actually, that really, I feel like it's something I've been looking for a long time. And it's probably a glimpse into what my future is going to be looking like. But it goes a little something like this. There is addiction to indulgence of sense pleasures, which is low, coarse, the way of ordinary people, unworthy and unprofitable. And there is addiction to self-mortification, which is painful, unworthy, and unprofitable. Self-mortification is like dedication or like religion or like extreme ideology. Avoiding both of these extremes, the Buddha has realized the middle path. It gives vision, it gives knowledge, it leads to calm, to insight, to enlightenment. And what is that middle path? It is the Noble Eightfold Path and nothing else. Namely, right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And I just love that, man. There was another one. Everything can be taken away from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way, which is Viktor Frankl's The Man's Search for Meaning. Just an incredible quote. And I'm just realizing that the fact that I found success in something I never would have, I think 2 years ago, thought I'd be successful at, which is trading the stock market. And the more that I do it, the more that I dedicate myself to like really trying to understand and like actually putting in the work, not just speculating and not just like knowing trends and knowing, you know, how much to dollar cost average, but really just embracing this whole COVID situation and just, I wouldn't say it's advice, but like, I hope everybody out there is taking time to learn something new about themselves and add a new skill set. And I am so relieved because I've worked so hard in so many other areas and have seen so much less progress financially or just, you know, peers or community or friends. And I've found just sitting on my phone or, you know, sitting on an iPad and learning this new skill has shown me that like I can have more than I ever thought I could have. And the talent that I didn't know I even had, just because I simply decided I was going to sit there and try to explore that. So I'm just super, thrilled about, this next chapter of life, and whatever post-COVID is looking like is going to be so vastly different than the life I've had before. And I'm excited about all the different choices that I'm creating for myself, essentially. And I'm not worried about any of the losses I had, because I know that some of the wins are just going to be so big that all the losses combined are going to pale in comparison to some of the big wins that are shortly up ahead here. So I'm just super psyched for Zombie Squad, for Tech's portfolio to blow, for Glenn's baby to, continue to add blessings in his life and his family, and his career to continue to grow and blossom, and Sinister Infinite and Rose God to continue to take on next level, actions and productivity, and, your service. Obviously, that's all very important things. Things coming up in that are exciting. But I'm just super excited for this next generation. Is like, we are the elders of this next generation, man. I don't think people realize how big of a role we're going to have here in the next 5 or 10 years when all these baby boomers start getting on Carnival cruises and Royal Caribbean cruises, and they're all irrelevant. And it's going to be on our shoulders how the world should look and how the world should be, run at work, at home, the kind of choices we want to make for school, the kind of choices we want to make for our health and our diet, the kind of lifestyle we want to have. We want to have a 5-day work week, 4-day work week. I think there's big things that are coming up here that we don't really realize are coming sooner than we think. And so this whole COVID thing, I think, is really putting a microscope under all that. And soon we're going to be the ones in the driver's seat, and soon we're going to be the ones making all those big decisions for the entire world. So I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this quarantine and this shelter in place and this new normal has taught us to have to, completely refocus our aim. And it's like you said, going out to bars is done right now, cruise ships is done.
It might never.
Disney World is done. A lot of things are changing.
They might never be the same. Like, cruises might come back. But like, do you realize that, like, bars?
I don't think cruises are coming back for a while, because you are stuck on a ship, and unless you're military, you have no reason to be stuck on a ship. And Tech can tell you that. Former Navy, he was stuck on a ship, but that was military. That's because that's for, like, the sanctity of the United States of America and beyond. But for a cruise, you're stuck on a ship. You're stuck in a capsule, sucking in each other's airs. And I think this situation that we've been put in as a society, the entire planet, has taught us to strip away these fatty layers, these useless comforts, these luxuries, these unnecessary excess. You know what I'm saying? Of excess. And a good point, but it's taught us to sharpen our focus and hone in our focus, sharpen our vision and hone in our focus on what it is that what matters, not only what matters, but the consistency. Developing and building consistency on what matters. It's like, here you are, here's your opportunity. You've been doing something, or you want to start something, and it's time for consistency. It's time for consistency. If you're, take this podcast, for example, I'm busting my fucking ass to keep staying consistent. Putting an episode out, decent topics, a new guest, talk about something that matters, especially in my realm anyway, as far as the show goes. Consistency. Okay, last episode of Sinister Infinite came out yesterday. Time to shoot third seasons of both Rogues and Sinister. Consistency. Someone's going to fucking see it. I was aware of a show, Anacostia, a web series on YouTube that was shot in Anacostia. It's based in Anacostia, and it's a local web series. And by season 3, it was picked up by Prime. Consistency. It's a YouTube series. No one's watching, but then people started watching it, and then more people started watching it, and Prime saw something in it. And so consistency.
So consistency is the key. But you mentioned that other thing, that the audience, you know, you've got to start. So I saw this really interesting thing. I don't mean to interject because that's really profound. Consistency is half of any single game that you want to win. But something I watched this little bit about the creators of Instagram, and the reason they even came out with Instagram was because they failed at a previous app. They started this other app. It was called like Trumpet or something, and they had 100 users, and it was like that was like the maximum they could get, and they couldn't grow the audience beyond that, and they couldn't figure out why. And they simply just asked their 100 users that use it consistently, what is it you like about it, and what is it you don't like about it? And the moment they got the response from the audience basically unanimously said, we don't really care for the rest of the features. We really just love this picture feature. And so they pivoted a hard left away from this Trumpet thing and
revamped.
Yeah, and they said we've got to create a brand new app.
But consistency
that focuses on just what the audience wants.
The app. But they stayed consistent. They said, okay, we'll revamp, start something new. But consistency, yeah, absolutely.
Right. The consistency is the half of it that pivoted from one to the other. But the part that they started to pivot from, the consistency from one thing to the next thing consistent with, was based on what the audience was saying. We want more of this. So if we pay attention, you know, we'll get Instagram. If we don't, we might pivot again, or we might go back to Trumpet, or we might not figure out what Instagram's supposed to be. So just that simple act of asking the audience what they want and understanding the things that they truly appreciate about anything is probably the secret metric that marketing is always trying to crack the nut open from, is simply asking what you want more of and what you want less of. Because we're out here in the driver's seat. We control everything. We can be as consistent we want with anything we choose. But we have to be careful that we're not just, you know, considering our own, you know, drives and opinions and visions. We have to incorporate, you know, like the Nielsen rating, you know, like the equivalent of like what people are actually going to want to continue to come and return and see more of and see development of, you know, like I think that is a big part of what fuels a vision of on top of the consistency, you know?
Yeah, man. All right. So with that, Mickey, any socials, links, plugs?
Just the same old. I know Sammy G has a new music video that we're working on coming out, a really big song called Stars, that we're hoping to really get some critical acclaim for. And I've been doing a whole bunch of, I'm basically scaling back on my work life so I could focus more on Oracle Health as a business. I'm just doing a whole bunch of content creation there and just getting into the driver's seat of really taking ownership over a business with whatever the consequences might be of that. I'm just going to go and get more all in on that. And so Oracle Health on Instagram at Oracle Health, taking a big break from Patients of Podcast, but as I scale back from work, looking to get back into that, having more time to do, you know, freelance projects like Patients of Podcast. And just at Patients of Podcast, Instagram, Patients of Podcast at Facebook, at Oracle Health on Instagram. And of course, did on pictures with Sinister Infinite and Rogues Gallery, new episode season 3. Be on the lookout, all 2 of you. Please be on the lookout.
All 3 of us. TechFall, any plugs, links, socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Zombie Squad 211. Hit me up on Twitch, Zombie Squad 211 on Facebook, Zombie Squad 211 at
never forget it.
YouTube.com.
Zombie Squad 211.
Dead on Pictures. Deadonpictures.com.
Yeah.
You can check out all the episodes of Rogues Gallery, Sinister Infinite, all of our past music videos that we've done.
Past,
all of the DJ sets.
Yeah, the DJ sets, everything that's been archived over the past 12 years, however long that we've been doing this.
all the shit.
Been a long
that in
time now.
2050, they're gonna wonder what the hell we were doing in 2020.
All the web series. Yeah, just check out everything on the Dead on Pictures YouTube channel.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna put in a throwback here for Below the Rim. Check out Below the Rim on Dead on on deadonpictures.com or youtube.com/deadonpictures.
Can we see a clip of that real quick?
Nope, because we are way over time. I'm exhausted. I need to get another beer and go cuddle with the wife. But they can see a clip of it if you go to some of the archives here on Dead on Pictures on YouTube. Sinister Rogues and season 2 just finale to Sinister Infinite, and be on the standby. Rogues Gallery, Sinister Infinite, 3rd seasons in production starting soon, with all of us truly. And can't thank TECHFALL and Mickey for joining me once again, my colleagues for the last 40 years. And to my viewers, I certainly hope I earned the privilege of your time and viewership, and check us out next time.